Education is often called the great equalizer, but in reality, it's become one of the clearest mirrors of inequality in the modern world. From crumbling classrooms in underfunded districts to high tech campuses in affluent neighborhoods, the gap between the educated and the undereducated continues to widen. This isn't just about test scores or graduation rates, it's about opportunity, mobility, and justice. When the zip code you're born in dictates the quality of education you receive, the system is not broken. It is working exactly as it was designed to favor the privileged and leave the rest behind. Rethinking how we teach and who we prioritize in our systems is no longer an option. It's a necessity. At the heart of the education gap is a tangled web of funding disparities, outdated curricula, biased testing, and systemic inequality. Public schools in wealthier areas often benefit from higher property taxes, which translate into better facilities, more experienced teachers, and access to advanced coursework. Meanwhile, schools in poorer neighborhoods struggle with overcrowded classrooms, teacher shortages, and a lack of basic resources like books, computers, and safe learning environments. These disparities are not just inconvenient, they're life altering. They shape a child's future before they even understand what future means. Standardized testing has only made things worse. Originally intended to provide objective metrics, these exams have become gatekeepers that reinforce socioeconomic status. Students in low income areas are often taught to the test in rote, narrow ways that leave little room for creativity or critical thinking. Meanwhile, affluent students benefit from private tutoring, extracurricular enrichment, and school systems that teach beyond the minimum. The result? A system where success is preloaded and meritocracy is a myth. Cultural bias plays a role too. Curricula that ignore or minimize the histories and contributions of marginalized communities can alienate students who don't see themselves reflected in what they're taught. Language barriers, racial discrimination, and learning differences are often misinterpreted as behavioral problems or academic deficits, leading to higher suspension rates and lower expectations for minority and neurodivergent students. When schools don't accommodate diverse learning styles or backgrounds, they're not just failing students, they're actively excluding them. But the issue isn't just about who's being taught, it's also about how we're teaching. The traditional model of education, desks in rows, lecture style instruction, one size fits all assessments, is outdated in a world that requires creativity, adaptability, and critical thinking. While some innovative schools have adopted project based learning, experiential education, and interdisciplinary curricula, these methods are not widely accessible. We need to reimagine education not as a conveyor belt, but as a launch pad, tailored to help each student discover their unique strengths and potential. Technology, if equitably distributed, offers some hope. During the COVID-19 pandemic, remote learning exposed the stark digital divide. Millions of students lacked reliable internet or devices, while others adapted quickly. This illuminated just how much tech can either level the playing field or deepen existing chasms. Going forward, we must treat internet access and digital literacy as basic educational necessities, not privileges. Teacher support is another crucial factor. Educators are often overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated, yet they are the backbone of any education system. Professional development, fair compensation, and emotional support are essential if we expect teachers to inspire and adapt to the diverse needs of their students. Schools also need to hire and retain educators who reflect the demographics of their communities, ensuring students have role models who understand their experiences. The education gap is not an isolated issue. It intersects with housing, healthcare, income inequality, and systemic racism. Any effort to close the gap must be holistic. That means investing in early childhood education, providing universal school meals, expanding mental health services, and involving families and communities in educational planning. Schools cannot and should not carry the burden alone. Policymakers have a duty to act boldly. This includes reforming school funding formulas, eliminating discriminatory disciplinary practices, and creating equitable pathways to college and vocational training. But true change will also require cultural shifts, rethinking what it means to be smart, what it means to succeed, and who gets to define those terms. Every child deserves access to quality education. not just those in the right neighborhoods. When we fail to invest in every student, we weaken the foundation of our society. The future belongs to the curious, the compassionate, and the creative. But if we continue to allow the education gap to widen, that future will belong to fewer and fewer people. It's time to rethink how we teach and who we leave behind before the promise of education becomes an empty slogan.